Oh, hello. Must have not seen me there. Is it cold outside? I wouldn't know. Because I'm in fall wear all the time. The tale of the Iron Snail. And some duckies. Hey everyone, Michael from the Iron Snail here. Just giving you a quick heads up before anything starts. This video's original intention was a straight to the point, no joking. This is the winter jacket that I want, this is that. And it quickly either evolved or devolved, depending on what. But just giving you a heads up, it is a bit less centered.
Begin.
YouTube, hello, how are we? Today is a huge day because it is the day that I have finally declared that I have found the perfect winter jacket. And actually, even better, I found 4. But more importantly, Taylor is also coming over today before she goes to Denmark. So we are going to make breakfast together and then she is going to cry and get on a plane and leave. So this is, you may be thinking, well, this is a breakfast, isn't it? No, this is just a banana. With all that being said, hey Siri, what time is it?
It's 8:04 a.m.
Taylor will be here. So Taylor, you may be wondering what the different insulation properties between wool, synthetic, and down are.
Yes, I have been wondering this.
Hello class, our goals for today were have breakfast with Taylor, go to the woods, Taylor goes to a friend's house, then I pick her up and I drive her to the airport. So this is not shot linearly, but you probably already knew that. I found a trail, thank God. Just a second ago, I got very lost with no service and I thought I was gonna die, but everything is all right. I was being very ignorant. I thought, I went on the site and it said closed. And I was like, they can't close the woods. Yes, they can. People in this community typically like wool the best because it is a natural fiber, naturally water resistant, naturally flame retardant, naturally wind resistant.
Ooh.
So that's really good. And it's also really tough. And out of down and synthetic, it is the only insulation type that is it's just one material. There's no outer, there's no inner or anything like that.
Gotcha.
So people really like that. The downside about wool though is that it is very heavy. So when we compare it to something like down, it's different because down and synthetic insulation have a much better warmth to weight ratio. So to get the equivalent amount of insulation and warmth out of wool, you need a lot more weight.
Gotcha.
What do you think about that?
I think that if you knew this, then you wouldn't have tried to climb a mountain in a wool coat.
Who the fuck? Taylor's sister Cassidy was attacked by a bear in Alaska. Actually, 2 bears a few months ago. And not that I'm nervous about seeing a bear, because this is a pretty populated area with a lot of trails and stuff, but wow, am I nervous that I'm gonna see a bear. Fun fact, Eddie Bauer almost died because his wool jacket was so heavy that he took it off and got really sweaty and caught frostbite, but he got saved because he pulled his revolver out and fired 2 shots in the air to get picked up by his friend.
Wow.
I know. What is also insane is that down is incredibly durable because down is only warm when it's lofted like this, and if it's compressed, it's not. So the biggest downside about down is that it does get compressed when it's wet. What are you doing?
Downside about down.
That is silly.
Okay, first we will do wool jackets, and this community has quite a liking for the deck jacket. If you know someone that has salvaged jeans and leather boots that can be resold, but they'll never be resold, the chances are they will have a deck jacket. Okay, next up we have the Mackinaw Jacket, which you can't really call it a Mackinaw Jacket because that's the type of wool. But when I say Mackinaw Jacket, you probably think Filson, maybe there's Woolrich, maybe Johnson & Mills. That is typically Mackinaw wool, or if it's not Filson, boiled wool, which is wool that is basically felted and shrunk down, so it's super wind resistant, super tough, super warm. Typically, you would see Mackinaw wool or boiled wool on hunting jackets, so there's actually this picture, the founder of LL Bean, aka LL Bean, has a really cool one on. Filson has a bunch, Woolrich has a bunch, love all of those, the hunting jacket style, or the cruiser style with Filson, which is not hunters, but loggers. If you plan on jumping into a lake with your coat on, wool is way better because it can insulate you up to 80% when wet, when saturated with water. Down will compress and cannot, but since down is usually mixed in with the technology like Gore-Tex and DWR and stuff, if it's raining, virtually no issue. And as technology increases, so does down technology. So there is something like Down Tech from LL Bean that can get wet and still keep you warm and insulated because it repels water. Question.
What is DWR?
DWR is a durable water repellent, and that is usually in combination with Gore-Tex. It doesn't need to be, but it makes sure the water sheds right off of you. And if DWR goes away and you have Gore-Tex on, you can wet out, which means your jacket is no longer breathable and you'll sweat from the inside, which makes people think oftentimes that their jacket is not waterproof, but it's actually their sweat getting them wet.
Whoa.
I know.
It's like a duck.
It is exactly like a duck.
Then the original jacket of the Navy is the Peacoat. Well, actually, I don't know if it's the original, but it is a very, very prominent one and a very famous one. You know what the Peacoat is, very, very heavy wool, very high collar, so you could latch it around your throat. It pops up, it looks really cool. Robert Redford looks banger in one. I'm kind of ruling that one out immediately because it feels, oddly enough, not at home out here, which is where I want the wool jacket to be at home. That feels like it is now kind of appropriated by the city. It's a very city structured jacket, even though that's not how it originated at all. Okay, so here are some bonuses that I'm not going to talk a ton about, but these are some of my favorites. First one is the duffel coat. I actually really like the duffel coat. It's usually heavy wool, and I like the feeling that they convey. Like I was saying, the Peacoat is too structured. The duffel coat, I feel like, kind of fits in everywhere, especially if you get kind of a long, boxy one that's not super tight. That is really cool, so I love that. Also, if we're looking at another company, this is kind of a hunting coat, but I just want to call attention to it. The Freewheelers Mackenzie coat is insane and beautiful and like $2,200, so it's kind of out of my price range, but maybe when I'm rich and famous I'll get that, but I love that coat. The duck print on it is amazing. And then, of course, back to Dehen 1920, they're going to be really popular in this list because they basically only make worsted wool products, but they had the Stalwart 2.0, which I don't think they sold this year, which is a real bummer, but absolutely amazing.
So synthetic, the tough part is, over time, it becomes less warm because when it compresses, unlike down, which springs back, which is why down coats you see for 20, 30, 40 years, synthetic slowly starts to pack down and loses its efficiency. The plus side is that it will keep you warm when wet a little bit better than down because it doesn't compress as much because it's usually polyester fibers on the inside or thermoball, which think of styrofoam little balls, can also be used for insulation.
Okay, then obviously there are Mac coats, car coats, all basically variations, or officer coats, all basically variations of long wool jackets with pretty plain like shirt collars. Those are definitely there and those are great. I have one, I have this collaboration from 316 and Schott, which is beautiful, but that to me feels very formal, city wear, like I'm going out, I wear my long wool jacket and walk around. So that's not on the list of the ultimate winter jacket, but still cool. Also, if you want to go a little louder, you can go the B3 jacket, which I recently talked about. You can go the B6 jacket, or if you want to go really avant-garde, which is a very, very cool jacket, maybe not all of them are this warm, depending on what is on the outside and what they do on the inside, you can get the Grizzly jacket. Okay, now since I am such a good guy, I am going to go back to the city early, so that way I'm not late to pick up Taylor.
We've got Doc Martens without, I should call them blackout Doc Martens. I don't know if they're actually called that, but they don't have the yellow tab or the yellow stitching. And wool socks and jeans that I've had for a very long time and had tailored and re-zippered and pretty much destroyed. Levi's cotton long sleeve, half shirt. I don't know where this is from a thrift store. It's like a velvety thing. Michael's hat. That's it.
I see it.
Bye.
Okay, so Taylor is finally gone. It is time for us to go to a hike in Harriman State Park where I will go over my favorite wool jackets and my favorite down jackets and hopefully go for a hike. By the way, I just conditioned my Blundstones with Red Wing boot conditioner and they're amazing. But yeah, this is what I'm wearing, trying to look a little cooler lately. Taylor got me this vest. I think it's a woman's vest, so I'm gonna have to get a new one. This is an Ella Bean sweater, LSG Brunswick tee fit, and then Blundstones. Okay, so you've already seen this entire part, but here is a quick summary. I found a trail. It's a wool blend.
The deck jacket is that the hood, the coats. Okay, so this part is not really important.
And now we are in present time going to pick up Taylor. This is the second time that now she's left, and it feels a little different, but it is still, you know, that old familiar feeling you get every now and again that tells you, turn back around, and what is happening can easily be fixed if you just turn back around. But it's not always. how the coffee gets made. Did you download that podcast? You're gonna love it. Oh my god. Do you got Aquaphor in there? Yeah. Good. I will say, we thought we were saying our goodbyes to each other in Boston a few weeks ago, so we said them then, and then we got here to Terminal 7, said our goodbyes, Taylor cried, and then we found out that it was actually, she had to go to Terminal 8, so she came back into the car, and then I said goodbye to her. Now, I will say, saying goodbye to each other 3 times consecutive in a row, you definitely lose some of the emotional impact of it all. Welcome back to the apartment. It is late, I need to go to bed. This is what I'm thinking. Like I said, I will allow myself 2 jackets. The first one I think is just going to be a Filson double Mac, so the double layer Filson Cruiser, which is great. I may still get a down jacket for the city, which would be a Patagonia. I'm not too worried about that one. But the down jacket that I found fits all of my criteria, which I didn't think I was going to be able to find. It is repairable, it wears cool, it is durable, it is water resistant, wind resistant, windproof even. It's amazing. And it is from an Italian brand called Manifattura Ceccarelli. That's how Google Translate.
Manifattura Ceccarelli.
They seem amazing. That is about it. I have to go to bed. It is 10:22. Sorry I did like a billion things in this video, and sorry it's late. I think I've developed a way to post my videos on time. So let's see if the next video comes out on Friday. Thank you, and have a good night.